Poppin' Soups, it's me, MT, and welcome back to the Heavy Spoiler Show. Gen V Episode 4 has introduced quite the intense and unique character with the reveal that Vought hero Tek Knight has been dispatched to find someone to take the fall for Golden Boy's golden shower all over the pavement. But just who is this newest character to be adapted from the original Boys comics, and are his hobbies as invasive in the comics as they were to that innocent tree in Gen V? Today, we shall investigate all things Tek Knight together, my nerd babies. And spoiler warning for the character of Tek Knight in the Boys comic series, because we're going to be talking about all the key elements of his life from that source material. So, if you somehow still need a spoiler warning on a channel called Heavy Spoilers, there it is. You're welcome. Alright, so the version of Tek Knight that we meet in Amazon's Gen V is significantly different than the one we see in the comics in a lot of ways. In the show, for example, Tek Knight berates Dean Shetty for being just a human, while he himself was an exceptional superhero with heightened super senses powered by Compound V. Not so much in the comics. When he first appeared in The Boys issue 7, Tek Knight is actually revealed to have no powers whatsoever, as he was originally meant to be a mishmash of a parody that mixed Marvel's Iron Man with the DC characters Batman and Starman, as the real-life name for DC Starman is actually Ted Knight. And the reason Tek Knight is called the Tek Knight in the comics is because of all the technology that surrounds his very fragile and very human body in the form of a massive blue Iron Man-style supersuit. This being the case, Tek Knight is of course not his real name in the comics, despite him mainly going by Tek Knight in Gen V. He's actually a dude by the name of Robert Vernon, a guy who became the Tek Knight to follow in the footsteps of the knights who came before him. Two previous knights that were originally called the Steel Knight, with Robert changing the name from Steel Knight to Tek Knight when he became the third person to hold the mantle in a more technologically advanced age. But whether or not the Tek Knight that we see in Gen V has any sort of past as a super armored hero has yet to be seen. The character, the legend, mentions one of these Steel Knights of the past in Season 3, Episode 5, when he brags about getting Marlon Brando to cut his quote from the Steel Knight movie.
Anyway, after that, I got Marlon to cut his quote on that Steel Knight picture, so...
Another comic element from Tek Knight's history that has yet to be seen in live action is his kid sidekick, Ladio, who's very much meant to be the Robin to Tek Knight's Batman. And because of this parody, Ladio would end up changing his name to Swingwing, just like Robin changes his name to Nightwing in DC Comics. But Tek Knight don't talk to his former sidekick that much these days, and there's a very specific reason for that you could probably guess. Because you see, in the comics, Tek Knight used to be part of a group of superheroes called Payback, who were a parody of the Avengers. And they were the second most popular group of superheroes after the Seven in that universe. And I say used to be part of Payback because, they had to suspend him from the team. Not because he couldn't carry his weight as a corporate hero, but primarily because of his unholy mental illness manifesting at the wrong place and the wrong time. With that wrong place and time being in midair while heading home after a superhero mission. Because while the members of Payback were all flying home after doing their duty, Tek Knight was eyeing to bone one of his teammates' booties, his robotic colleague by the name of the Mind Droid, who was the comics parody of Marvel's Vision. And unfortunately, Tek Knight would try to make those lustful thoughts a reality right then and there when he tried to enter his first hole in midair, telling a psychiatrist later on in his life that he didn't even know why he did it. Just that his compulsion to get silly with his willy in every hole in the city started that day. You know, right before he violated that psychiatrist's cat. I'm not even joking, like the therapist dude left the room for literally 2 seconds and Tek Knight just could not help himself from chasing pussy. Cat holes. So yeah, needless to say, that was Tek Knight's last day in therapy. Dude has issues, man. And this is kind of a bummer considering that this guy truly does not know why he was cursed to live that life and was genuinely seeking answers from a mental health professional. But hey, he did try to cream another man's cat, so you know, them's the rules. Can't really do that in therapy these days because everyone is woke now or something. I don't know. Just kidding. Don't do that. That's very wrong. But this brings us to another major difference between the comic and the live-action Tek Knights. Because while the live-action Tek Knight is well aware of his brain tumor that is triggering all of these unstoppable urges, comic book Tek Knight literally had no idea where the hell this random urge to stick his dick in pits even came from, and never would have the chance to find out before his tragically hilarious death. But More on that later. But anyways, ever since that incident with the mind droid, Tek Knight has had the compulsion to violate every attractive hole that comes within his eye line, even telling his temporary therapist that he stuck his junk inside of a side of beef, the holes within his cave hideout, and even his own niece's chinchilla. A chinchilla that his sister and his niece caught him trying to bury in the backyard to hide the evidence. So, needless to say, his sister doesn't talk to him anymore, nor does she allow him to see his niece. And I'm pretty sure he's banned from every Petco nationwide. But another person that does not talk to Tek Knight anymore is his former sidekick, Ladio, because those two have some really awkward history. Because Tek Knight wasn't technically a sexual deviant by choice, he was super concerned that his brain disorder would lead him into making Ladio's booty hole quite sadio. So Tek Knight decided to make up a completely bullshit quest for Ladio to train with every single superhero group that Ladio could find under the guise of wanting to make Ladio stronger. But he actually just wanted to keep Ladio's cavities from his sexual depravity. A quest Ladio took on happily without question because, let's face it, Ladio was kind of dumb. But I'm sure that getting rid of his old trusty sidekick was quite sad for Tek Knight, because before he got really sick, he and Ladio would fight all sorts of crime together, and would repeatedly play a game of cat and mouse with their sometimes friend, sometimes foe, Talon, who is a clear parody of DC's Catwoman and Batman's relationship with Catwoman. And this being the case, eventually Talon became very close friends with both Tek Knight and Swingwing over the years. So close, in fact, that one night, while Tek Knight and Talon were hanging out together, Talon convinced Tek Knight to call Swingwing over, and then later convinced both of them to play a rousing game of pin the tail on the Talon with her. A threesome crossover event that proved to be so traumatizing to Tek Knight that he and Swingwing pretty much stopped talking completely afterwards, as both of those dudes were unfortunately extremely homophobic people and couldn't handle what they've done together. Because despite Tek Knight having fantasized about engaging in sexual acts with men's holes in the past, that was mainly a side effect of his brain tumor's fascination with holes. Like that one time he stuck his tech pecker into his own butler's ear holes, causing his butler to immediately quit and reveal Tek Knight's unhinged sexual behavior to the media. As he should. That's kind of gross. However, Tek Knight was not attracted to his butler at all, but was merely drawn to the hole of his ear. But that, of course, did not matter to Thomas the butler or any of those newspapers who ran Thomas's story by painting the heavily homophobic Tek Knight as a gay man, which technically was not true. And this news story would, of course, cost Tek Knight's superhero career and all the respect that came with it to vanish in a near instant. Until one day, after he saved a woman from a gruesome death from a falling wheelbarrow, a massive meteor started hurling its way towards the planet, threatening all of life and causing all the boys at NASA to freak the hell out at humanity's imminent demise. But have no fear, Tek Knight the ear poker is here, with Tek Knight giving hope to all the people at NASA's mission control by saying the brave words, "Gentlemen, if it's got a hole, I can fuck it." And so, Tek Knight flew into outer space, put his peener inside of the meteor, and shot his organic payload inside of that very meteor, causing the giant rock to explode at the cost of Tek Knight's life, with the entire world regarding Tek Knight as a hero once more, which would have made a really dope redemption for Mr. Knight if that actually happened. Turns out all of that meteor stuff was just a hallucination courtesy of a collaboration between Tek Knight's brain tumor and the falling wheelbarrow that he saved that lady from, because the wheelbarrow actually landed right on Tek Knight's exposed tech noggin. And during his last moments, his brain imagined the whole meteor scenario up so that Tek Knight would feel like he died as a hero who was fully accepted by humanity. But in reality, everyone still saw him as a loser who liked to put his dick in things. And it wouldn't be until Tek Knight's autopsy that a tumor the size of an adult fist was found inside of his brain, revealing to everyone the true source of Tek Knight's horrific lifestyle. But yeah, that's basically comic book Tek Knight in a tech nutshell. Just a dude with a brain tumor inside of a supersuit. I am super interested to see how Tek Knight's character evolves in this live-action universe, because I kind of want to find out if he has an Iron Man-esque supersuit, or if he became a detective-type hero solely based on his superpowered perception. Because having a name like Tek Knight without any of the actual tech or the knighthood would kind of be super weird in my opinion. So I hope to see more of this awfully odd man very soon in Gen V or in the next upcoming season of The Boys. Because I, for one, am looking forward to learning a whole lot more about him. Get it? See what I did there? I said a-hole, because he likes a-holes. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me at Messertainment on Twitter and Instagram or wherever I am on the social medias. But most importantly, you can follow Heavy Spoilers here on YouTube and on Twitter and wherever he is on the internet, because Paul is an amazing man who makes amazing breakdowns. And you don't want to miss any of the videos that either me or Paul make, especially all of Paul's breakdowns on both Gen Z and the Ahsoka series. And hey, if you liked the video, why not just take a quick second and drop a like? It's a really small thing, but it really helps out the channel. Gotta love that YouTube algorithm. But yeah, thanks again for watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.